And the captain is on deck, looking through a spyglass at a island that is on the horizon.
Marguerite's usually on deck when she's got nothing to do because she likes to look at the ocean. Is anybody
It
else
looks
up
green.
there? It does.
Yeah.
She likes that.
Yep. I mean, obviously, there's some regular sailors. You know most of them now because you've been sailing with them enough. I don't know where the rest of the
Yeah. Are there player
party
characters
is.
up here?
Fenric is in the kitchen. He's currently experimenting, mixing different spices together that he bought at the spice market. And he's
Once
trying
he
different
stole?
combinations, putting them onto like various like meat cubes that he's cooked up. And he's experimenting, putting them onto cubes of meat, trying different combinations, trying to come up with a new sort of flavor.
I guess Catalina's up in the rigging. Catching some breeze.
What island is that?
It is a small island called Tinaford. It is on the edge of Avalonian territory. Population no more than 50. They are a nice, friendly little island. We are going to be stopping there just to take on some supplies, water and some food.
We.
They are quite friendly. You will be able to stretch your legs and wander the town if you wish.
Très bien.
And it's about 5 hours later that you pull into there. It's not a main harbour. It is a small bay, and there is a basic dock. The ship is brought expertly in and close to the dock, but the dock is not really designed for a ship quite this size. It definitely seems to be more coastal sort of ships and fishing vessels, of which there are some off to the side. But he gets close and then drops the anchor. It's probably about 15 foot across, so a couple actually swing across on ropes to the dock and then secure the end of the ship, the stern of the ship, to the dock, so it doesn't drift one way or the other. They don't want it to get on anchor. It can sometimes turn, so they don't want it to. So anyone who is agile can get across to the dock easily.
Okay.
Everyone else has to take a small longboat.
Marguerite'll swing across.
Fenric will find a boat.
And there's about 15, there's about 15 going across, like, that are going to be doing stuff for the actual getting supplies and that, so you can go with them. And there's no rolls, it's a simple, they row to the shore and secure the boat on the shore, and everyone else is just on the dock. It's just a wooden dock, it's well made. There's a path that leads up, and you can see about 15, 20 buildings. They are of the Tudor style.
And Marguerite will wait on the dock for the other two if they're coming.
Well, you can see Fenric climb into the boat, and he's going across in the longboat with some of the others.
Mm-hmm.
And Catalina will swing overhead.
Overhead of me on the dock?
No, over the heads of the people in the small boat.
Okay. I was going to say, she's wildly misjudged
not?
then, and she's just shot off into the distance.
And she lands on the dock.
So, the people here are apparently very friendly, says the captain.
And Catalina, looking at Marguerite, looks down at her rapier. Then I guess I won't be needing this.
Hopefully not. And I guess we just stare at Fenric in a boat till it gets there.
Shall we wait for the big man?
I suppose he is coming over in the longboat. He did not wish to try the rope, I do not think.
And eventually he makes it to where you are after helping to secure the boat. Thank you for waiting. I figured you'd have scampered off by now.
To where? We do not even know where we are going. Just to take a walk.
Yes, I don't know. You do
Is
have a
there?
knack for getting into trouble.
Oh,
I mean, both of you.
how
Catalina
so?
looks surprised and innocent at the same time.
I suppose myself as well to some extent, but
What trouble?
how
There
many
is no trouble.
sunken ships have you been in?
2? Only 2? Is that really so many?
More than most people?
You have been in 1. That is half as many.
That's the average.
That is average?
Most people only make it through one shipwreck.
I thought he was about to say most people have been in 1 shipwreck.
Surely, most people do not survive a shipwreck.
It is good that I am a very strong swimmer.
Yes, I suppose you'd have to be.
I like the water.
I do not like the water.
I know you do not, but it is... Uh, magnifique. Très magnifique.
It is deep and cold and
Wonderful.
sometimes violent and unforgiving.
It is... interesting.
It is also very deceptive because at the moment it may seem pretty calm, but underneath
There are
the
currents.
current could suck you down and drown you. There are fish in there that could eat you.
If I have to die, to drown would not be so bad.
I hear it's one of the worst ways to go, isn't it?
At least I would be in the ocean.
You are very strange, Marguerite. Where is the girl?
Alana?
See,
I do not know. Is she back on the ship? Well, we can check on her later, but I suppose for now we should go see what there is on this island.
and Catalina strolls off.
All right, Marguerite will follow.
Where are we headed?
We are walking. I do not know.
And there's a few different shops that what you sort of what you expect for a very small town, and you can see what looks like an inn.
I do not know about you two, but I intend to sleep on terra firma.
I suppose we could.
Yeah, it has been a long time at sea.
We.
See?
Yes, the sea.
Catalina heads into the inn,
Marguerite will follow.
shaking her head.
And it's a nice looking inn. It's a nice smelling inn. It's just missing one thing:
Which is?
people.
Aha.
Now that you think about it, you haven't seen any people.
Is there no one at all? Like, not even someone. Oh, no one. I do not think I have ever walked into an inn and seen no one.
Is odd. The captain, I believe, mentioned that there weren't that many people living on the island.
He said there were around 50. However, here I see 0.
And Catalina will tap the bell at the counter. And again. And again. And again. And again.
There is no one
Uh.
here. Either that or they cannot hear.
Interesting.
Uh, uh, wait, I mean, there were other shops outside, but I did not see anyone standing out there. We could check the other buildings, but
I was thinking just in the inn itself, maybe they're in the back somewhere in one of the rooms.
they would have aired this ding, 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 ding.
Perhaps they are unconscious.
I mean, if you wish to check, you can check. I am going to go see if there is anyone else anywhere else.
All right.
I shall
Fenric
follow you.
will- Which one?
Catalina points to Marguerite.
Marguerite's heading out of the inn and just to the closest next building.
Yeah, so he'll make his way to the back of the inn, and on any closed doors, he'll knock, and if there's no answer, he'll push it open and peek his head inside.
He finds no one.
All right, and then after that, he'll go look for the others.
Fenric comes out behind you a couple of minutes later.
Okay.
The area is in a mist, and at the inn, which is the Rose Crown, is the only building there.
Well, that is an interesting development.
You find something.
I have found a lack of anything
It's-
of
Where
any
have
other
all
building.
the buildings gone?
They are gone.
What do you mean gone?
I mean, look. She gestures around at the lack of other buildings.
Where could it have all gone?
If I knew that, I would not be confused. However, I am confused.
Is this some form of witchcraft?
Now I wish we had Alana.
Is this some sort of elaborate trap?
That would be most elaborate, considering this is an island the crew has been to before. So they would have had to remove all the people and do this. Oh, wait. Hello? Does she do anything?
He does not. She is about probably under 10.
Okay.
She has very long brown hair. Her dress is blackened. There is some soot on her face, and then the mist sort of swirl in front of her, and then they part. She is not there.
Did you see that?
Who were you calling out to?
There was a little girl over there.
I didn't see anyone.
She was maybe 40 feet that way. She had soot on her face and her dress looked burned, but there is no sign of fire here. Or is this mist or smoke?
It does not smell like smoke.
Then I do not think there is a fire, no?
Perhaps you saw a ghost.
That would be interesting, although hardly helpful. Marguerite's gonna walk over to where she saw the girl and just, I know she's not there anymore, but just kind of look around to see if there's anything she can see.
She comes to a path and a lot of rose bushes of multiple colours: violets, reds, whites, blues, greens.
Come over here for a moment.
Catalina will walk over with a hand on her rapier.
Well,
She's looking around.
it is nothing to attack, it is roses.
Oh, even a rose has thorns.
We, however, they are not brandishing them at you. But see, there are roses of many, many colors. I have not seen such roses before. And there is a path.
I thought roses were only red.
Red, white, pink, yellow. Oui. I have not seen all of these colors before, though. I have never seen a purple or a blue rose.
I have seen some of them before, but I mean, even though I've been living in Avalon for all my life, never have I seen any roses like this.
Well, this is not Avalon. This is a. We are on the border of Avalonian territory. However, we are nowhere near Avalon. You know your country has claimed other bits. We?
Yes, that is a thing that we are quite good at. Saying this part of the land is ours.
Oh, oui, you do it very often. However, that is hardly related to any of this. And I cannot say about you, but I, when faced with a, well, a situation such as whatever any of this is, if I find a path, I want to follow it.
Alright. I have no objection.
We? No?
Catalina reaches around to her right, draws her dagger. And
Are you
then
going to fight the rose bushes now?
see, and
We?
cuts off some roses,
And
different
they
coloured
turn
ones.
to ash.
Ah. That is most unusual behavior for a rose.
See, this is very problematic. Oh, why are they turning to ash?
I do not know. More ashes, more burning without the fire. I will see where this path has gone to. Well, this is the only thing we have found besides the inn. She's gonna look back to the inn. Is it still there? She's slightly doubtful.
It is not.
Ah! Well, it seems as though we have no choice whatsoever. The inn is gone.
This is indeed very problematic.
We.
What are we gonna do?
We shall follow the path and see where it goes. What else can we do? We could blunder around in the mist and fall on our faces when we trip on something.
What if that's what they want us to do? They want us to follow the path.
What who wants us to do, this small child?
The ghosts.
Why are you so concerned with ghosts?
Ghosts do not exist. I do not know why you believe in such things.
They do not. If there is magic, why not ghosts? I think the world would be more interesting with ghosts.
I know a tale or two.
Of ghosts?
Yes.
And
of
do they
ghosts.
normally trick unwary passersby to walk down rose-covered paths and then, I do not know, murder them?
Not in so many details, but
Well, then we are fine, I suppose. Oh, it's gonna start walking down the path.
I would rather not believe in ghosts. The thought of someone appearing after they had died, or that you have.
Why? Is that because you think many would come back to haunt you?
See,
Ha.
You hear no sound other than a little wind and the creaking of trees. You enter a small clearing. It is grass surrounded by trees with a path on the far side. You hear cracking and snapping, and you notice that some of the shrubs are starting to move. They are pulling their what might have been roots out from the ground. They are starting to come a bit upright. They're about 4 feet tall, vaguely humanoid in shape, and they start to creak and crack towards you. You can see that some of the pieces that have been pulled out, what would be the branches, appear sharp, and there is one that has a bit of greenery on it, and it's slightly larger with a thicker sort of trunk. They have like 2 legs and 2 arms. There is no facial features. There's no main body. They're all sort of like twisted into making these sort of shapes. And they are shambling towards you with this horrible sound.
Fenric, do your ghost
What?
stories tell of people made of rubbery?
What are those?
I could not say. Really?
I've heard many, many stories in my years. Nothing talked about anything like that.
Marguerite is drawing her sword.
Fenric is pulling out his pistol.
Catalina hesitantly steps back, draws her rapier and dagger.
I must confess, I am not well versed in the method of battling trees. I mean, it seems as though fire would be a good option, but I do not have any such thing.
I also agree fire would be a good option.
I have no fire.
I suppose shooting them is not going to do much, is it?
I could not say. Well, do we wait for them to slowly make their way over, or should we go on the...
Are they
offensive?
rambling tree? Are they rambling trees? Rambling.
Phew.
Someone's dying.
Fenric's dead. Catalina launching her dagger at the large one, almost looking as if it was looking at Marguerite and Fenric, and it turns while the others are shambling beside it and starts to shamble towards Catalina.
Marguerite, not having a throwing weapon, is going to close the distance between herself and the closest tree creature, whatever that may be, and attempt to hack at it with a rapier, which is not really a hacking weapon, but she's like, this is a tree. I don't know what to do with it. Hack away. She's a little confused, to be honest, about where you attack a tree. It does not have vital organs. It does not necessarily have weak points, so she just sort of tries to hack at its middle torso where there would be one, and managing to sever that, it sort of crumples to the ground in a heap of twigs and seems to cease moving, so she's satisfied with that.
And as the approaching creatures come towards the party, Fenric is going to fire, and one hits and takes out one of the tree creatures. He put a little bit of extra gunpowder into the gun, and it caused the pellet to burn a little bit as it sailed through the air. And as it hit the tree, it went through the middle of it, and some of these sparks caught it on fire slightly. And it began to writhe in tree agony, if it can feel anything. If it can't, then it just kind of crumpled to the ground.
And takes a swipe at her as some of the branches catch the side of her face, and the rapier swipes and swings at the lower part of it, hacking off pieces that break off and fall to the ground. It stumbles.
So slightly emboldened by the fact that they do seem to be defeatable, and also that a couple of them are already incapacitated, Marguerite is going to swing her blade into the next closest one. Basically just going for what has been proven to work and not trying anything fancy. She is adding to the pile of sticks, and it looks like we've got a pretty good setup for a bonfire going on.
The three small forest creatures
Yep.
focus on Marguerite, who has been causing them some concern.
And who ran right up close, that's fair.
She's able to parry as they're sort of jabbing at her with sharpened... They seem more impaling than anything. And
Okay.
so she's able to sort of, she's a duck and weave and parry and sort of not fence, but she's able to use her fencing skills to hold them off.
Okay.
But one of them does manage to get through and strikes her on the hip.
Okay.
It wasn't with a sharpened tip, but it was a reasonably hard impact that definitely hit the hip bone.
Okay.
And she feels a numbness go down her leg.
Huh.
Not magical, just from the impact. And she takes 3 points of damage.
Okay. And she will fall to one knee from the numbness in her leg.
And the big one is not at all happy with Fenric, who used fire in the form of a firearm. It reaches out, and it's not a hand, it's more like a collection of branches. And it hefts him up into the air and slams him hard onto his back with a very strong impact into the grassy earth, and you take 10 points of damage.
10 points of
Yikes.
damage.
New
Don't-
round.
Don't bring
That is-
fire to a tree fight.
That is 2.
Dramatic
Mhm.
wounds.
And Catalina, provided with an opportunity at the shambling creature, and jumps right into the onto the back of it with the rapier stabbing down and the dagger stabbing into the back of it at the same time.
Fenric is going to slowly lift himself up, first onto his knees, then up to kind of a slouched standing position. And he's going to draw his sword out, and he's going to slash at it.
Marguerite is going to push past the other little ones and attempt to go slash at that one's legs. She basically sort of shoves one of the small ones out of the way, trying to run past it. She will run over to the large one, and again, this is not the most carefully targeted approach. She does not know the weak points of a giant tree creature. She is hacking at its legs, and eventually it comes down to its knees, if it had knees. And I'm assuming Catalina is still kind of stabbing at this point. So as it comes down to its knees and Catalina continues to stab it in the back, eventually it entirely collapses and is still.
Okay, so Fenric feels a jab in his thigh from one of them, and which is 1 point of damage. And as Marguerite was running, ignoring them, she feels a couple of scratches, whether it's from them directly or just having to bump into them, but she definitely feels a couple of cuts for the remaining 2 points of damage.
Okay. That puts me to 1 on the spiral.
And that's now a new round. There's only 3 of the small ones remain, and as the big one is going to topple, anyone who is on it must need to get off it, or they will get pinned underneath it.
Only one person is on it, so... I mean, I'm in front of it. Do I have to also scamper, or can I just chill?
If you feel that is fair.
I will scamper as well.
Okay.
Throw herself off the top of the creature, landing on her 2 feet.
Well done.
You are standing? That is good?
Yeah, I think I landed on a rock or something. I'm gonna stay over here. I think you can handle the rest, yeah?
If that is what you wish, then we.
Knocking it to the ground, and as it lands onto the ground and cracks.
The last 2 are standing quite close together, so she is able to actually slice through the trunk of one and directly into the other, dispatching the last 2 and adding them to our ever-growing kindling pile.
And then The pile starts to move and form. They become two moving wooden people, a man and a woman. There is no sound other than the creaking of the trees as these two figures move. And they are laughing and hugging, and she is playing with his hair. And then they turn to mist, and they are gone.
What was that? They were attacking, but then they all together became two lovers?
What is this nonsense?
I do not know, and now they are gone. Fenric, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Are they
Those
gone?
things, they are gone, and they can certainly eat whatever they are. Ow.
They hit you too, then.
Wait. I did not get thrown through the air, but one of them, it smashed into my hip, and it is rather sore. I will survive. However, are you going to live, or shall we bury you here?
Honestly, I think you should just bury me here. Don't
Hmm.
know if I can possibly go on.
But then you would become a ghost, no? A tree ghost? You wish
I'm
that?
fine. You don't need to worry about me. I will make it
You will make it where?
where it is that we're going.
Ah, I see. He does not wish to be a ghost.
I
Preferably
guess
not.
this is a good thing.
Okay. Well, is there anything we can do for... You have no injury? Oh, you are bleeding, however. There.
Yeah,
They are rather sharp.
I am bleeding quite a bit, actually.
It is not that much. It is a little. Un petit peu.
Yeah. Fenric turns around and lifts up the back of his shirt, and you can see where he was slammed into the ground. There were rocks.
Ah, fine. That is more blood. Catalina, do you have any advice on this?
Come here, you big elf, so I can have a look at it. And Catalina will examine his injuries.
There was like one jab, stab thing somewhere, and the rest is blunt force trauma to the back.
Catalina will bandage his wounds as best she can.
It does look like the path continues down the other side of the clearing. I think we have no choice but to continue, no?
See,
Fenric, you are good to move along?
Yeah, I think I can.
Tribune.
Catalina will remove her rapier and dagger from the dead tree person if it's still there. If it's not, they're probably just laying on the ground. Then,
They're just laying on the ground.
yeah.
You find another clearing. This clearing is blocked by a wooden wall which has writing on it in Avalonian. It has written on it, like scratched in like from a sharp object. Orange is my colour. I have no mouth but consume many things. I fear water but never the wind.
That is fire, no?
See,
Oh!
Blackens and then breaks into ash and embers.
I did not expect that to happen.
nor did I.
I thought it is fire. We will have to light it on fire. It did the lighting itself.
It is impressive.
Catalina looks a little surprised, and she's got her rapier at the ready. Nothing appears.
The other clearing, it was, I mean, there were things we fought, but that is... Is this one at a riddle which seems more like someone has set this up? No?
See,
But how and why?
This whole thing has seemed like there's been some sort of design behind it.
There is a lot about fire. And I don't know.
Perhaps the ghost, before they were a ghost, died in a fire.
Hmm.
Je ne sais pas.
Big man, you may want to take the opportunity to reload your weapon.
Ah, yes, thank you for reminding me. Fenric does so.
It does seem as though we can walk straight through. However, I suppose we should be cautious. Then shall we?
After you.
Yep. Catalina will head in first.
Marguerite's close behind. Fenric can guard from the back.
Yeah.
And the trail ends in another clearing, which is empty.
There is nothing here.
That we can see.
Oh, so there is something invisible here?
Ghosts usually aren't visible until they are.
What does that mean? Nothing is visible until it is. What?
Still working on my writing skills. Don't mock me.
I thought perhaps it meant something more in... Look, you know your language better than I do. What do we do if there is nothing? If there is something, then we fight it, maybe, or not. But if there is nothing, we just walk through.
After you.
I do not trust walking through.
Well, which to do then? Jump across? Swim? Go around? I do not like this, but we cannot go back, no? And there is only one way forward.
And we shall go around. And Catalina
Around?
will head off around the edge of the clearing.
And she
Alright.
comes out behind you.
Uh. What?
Catalina's looking confused.
How did you do that?
You went over there and came back here.
Wait, she did.
How?
Do not understand.
I am going to try. Marguerite's gonna walk straight through and see if she can go through. Is this again?
It is bigger than the other one, but there appears to be none of the smaller ones. It has more branches. It has 2 smaller legs, so it's more shuffling, but it does not have the same sort of humanoid twisted appearance,
Ah.
but it is a thicker trunk and larger in its overall shape.
So, I have found a tree. Get it down as quickly as possible. She will
Okay.
rush forwards and begin hacking away at it. And she will say, perhaps we take this one out before it throws anyone else? Do we?
See, as Catalina darts in with her
I strongly agree.
Excellent.
Catalina slides up alongside it, swinging her rapier at it and cutting off one of its branches.
He'll raise the gun and focusing on just aiming straight with his injuries. He'll point it at the tree and fire.
As it barrels past her and Marguerite, as it thrashes out, going for Fenric, because again, he used a firearm. So she gets hit with one of its arms, but is able to mitigate some of the damage. And Marguerite takes 2 from one of the other smaller branches that does the same. It's basically thrashing as it's charging at
Trying to
Fenric,
get by. Okay.
which it reaches, but has no attacks left this round.
Fenric's eyes have gone wide.
He's like,
looking up at
not
it.
again.
Dabs into the tree, and she's hanging there on the back of it.
Is going to chase after it. All of her attacks towards its legs, trying to at least slow it down somewhat.
Fenric's gonna run.
It reaches around, because not being an actual human, it has a lot of variations in its makeup, and
Okay.
it grabs Catalina and throws her against the side of one of the trees in the clearing. Another one smashes downwards, connecting with Marguerite.
Slash away at this tree, hoping something is going to stop it from injuring people. As she's a little concerned, as it doesn't seem to have really slowed down any. So she is going to give it everything she has got, which is 4. So, considering the tree has been causing a great deal of trouble, it threw Catalina. Marguerite is very concerned, and basically she's not even entirely sure how she does it. She is just wildly slashing, and wood chips are flying. And eventually, she realizes that she is slashing away at a large pile of wood that has possibly not been moving for a little while. And she will stop and wait and see if it's going to get back up. She will gradually just sit on the ground and catch her breath.
And again, they all start to form into 2 figures. Again, they are wrapped in a loving embrace, playing with each other's hair and smiling. And then they start to glow and burst into flames. The path continues, and the clearing falls quiet.
Whoever they were, they seem to have been very happy. No?
Catalina gets to her feet groggily.
I do not think I could fight any more trees or any more people, to be honest.
We push on, or do we just sleep here? Because I'm leaning towards just sleeping.
I do not know. Do you wish to sleep here and risk that another tree will come along and eat you in your sleep?
It's true, but
So-
there also could be another tree just ahead.
Catalina shambles herself over towards her rapier and dagger that's laying on the ground now, and her hair's all disheveled, and she looks like she's pretty bruised and battered, and she's got scratches and bits of leaf and twigs all over her. And
Marguerite, who is sitting on the ground picking bits of twig out of her hair. We were talking about whether we go on or stay. Fenric wishes to sleep. I say if we sleep, perhaps we will be murdered by a tree.
if we sleep, we will die. We need to get to a place where we can provide proper medical attention.
But I cannot fight anymore.
Nor can I, but we have no choice.
We have no way of knowing if there's going to be a safe place ahead.
Well, we know there are none behind, no?
I suppose. All right,
Just
let's
limp
go.
our way along.
You come out of the path and into an open area. You can see a pond on the far side and a burned out house. The roof is largely gone, all the wood is blackened and disintegrated in places. The front door has fallen off, and within is the girl that Marguerite saw at the start, laying. She is not moving.
That is the girl that I saw in the mist?
Are you sure?
Oui. I am sure, and Marguerite's going to, as quick as she can, sort of stumble her way over.
And
see.
she is possibly asleep. You do not think that she is dead, but you do not think she is alive.
She's going to sort of bend closer and look for any sign of breathing.
She is not. but at the same time, you just have this feeling she's not dead.
She's going to touch her arm or something to see if she feels cold. There is something very strange.
What do you mean?
She is not dead. She is not alive. She is not breathing. She is not cold. I do not know why, but I think she is asleep, but she does not breathe.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it does not.
There is on the ground now, around where you're sort of standing, the flickering of light like sun on water.
The house is burned and she is hot to the touch. Like she is burning, but she is not.
Fenric will go over to the shimmer on the ground.
Should we put her in the water to cool her?
I guess with no other option, we should put her in the water. There is no other.
I do not know. I mean, she is already not breathing. However, if it were a fever, you would want to cool her, no?
Hey, help me,
We,
Marguerite.
help me lift her. All right, we are lifting a child.
Okay, that's easy. She's not very heavy.
We are taking her to a pond.
Yes, easy in the
Yeah, but we're both injured.
eyes
So
of-
we're like
with possible fractured bones.
Standing in the pond
standing in the
Is a-
pond.
is a woman. She has light shimmering around her like a lake on a summer's day. She is so incredibly beautiful that it's almost hard to look at.
Catalina, do you see her too?
See,
Ah. Très bien.
Her blue dress almost shimmers like water.
Hey, well, what do we do?
You're the lady. The lady of the lake.
But this is a pond, no? How is she a lady of a lake? I do not know what is happening.
Bow your head.
Uh,
And Fenric goes down on one knee.
Marguerite will confusedly bow her head, but not at the expense of holding this child.
You have found your way to Ashley.
Is Ashley this child?
That is correct.
How can we help her?
She has been through a great trauma.
A fire?
And she looks at the house. Correct.
Are you the reason all of this happened?
No, the child is.
See, what made you dabble in the affairs of us mortals?
I have an interest in the child.
Well, then, how can we wake her or heal her?
What can we do to help?
There is a decision to be made. She was lost long ago. She never knew it. Time moves differently for the she. She found her way here and was adopted by a very good-hearted pair of mortals.
She is a changeling?
No, not a changeling. She's a she.
Oui. She is of the she, we, raised by humans. Is that not what they call a changeling?
Not necessarily. A changeling is only if they're replacing the child, original child.
I see.
That did not happen. They were unable to have children. They found her and treated her as their own. She did not
And-
know her true heritage. For all intents and purposes, Ashley was a normal girl.
Until her power manifested. Yes?
When she tried to save her parents from the burning house. I have locked her in a moment of time, but her trauma is still reaching out.
And so what is this decision that you speak of?
I can wipe her mind and someone in the village, bend their reality just a little, and have her be adopted again. We can remove her magic which will make her human, or we can return her to the realm beyond the stars.
How can she grow as a person if she does not learn how to grieve? Leave her memories intact.
You think she should keep her memories, Catalina, but as a human or not?
I am coming from the point of view where I was taken from my homeland and lost my family. If this child has known nothing but the life that she has led as a human, then she should be allowed to keep her memories and remain as a human.
She's not human.
She would
It's like-
be.
It's like clipping the wings of a bird.
It is like clipping the wings of a bird that has never flown and never wished to fly and lives with other birds that do not fly and is happy there.
See,
You are thinking of her as some great and powerful being, and maybe she is, but she is a child.
She has the potential to be.
She has the potential to be whatever she wants. She is young. She has time.
and it is settled. She will keep her memories and stay as a human. Yes. And Catalina glares at Fenric.
Someone different this time.
She's branching out.
And she raises her hand, and the child shimmers and disappears. She is in the village.
Now?
Yes.
See.
She will awaken normally with all her memories intact, but without her magical powers. She will grow old and age the same as any other human.
I know Fenric is dissatisfied with this. Do you have an opinion?
I think she will be happy. She will mourn, she will be sad, but they are good people. She won't be left alone.
And will the world mourn the loss of a she?
The world?
That seemed to be Fenric's concerns, that it would be a great loss to all of us.
It is nice that he thinks so. Farewell. And she turns to water and goes into the pond.
This is what the gods are, then I do not wish to know the gods.
Well, you know one now, I suppose.
The mist lifts, and you can see the ship. They seem confused a bit, almost like they too were locked in some form of suspended animation.
Well, I suppose you will now not speak to us for days.
I am not so petty.
No?
No. I am not mad, just disappointed.
Disappointed.
The old man says to the children.
Yeah.
You two, with your wanting children to be happy. I'm not mad. I'm just... I like making children miserable, says Fenric. That's why I learned the accordion.
Seventh Sea, starring Emily as Marguerite, Shadow as Fenric, RavenInsane as Catalina, Ghost as the teller of stories. Seventh Sea is released by Chaosium Games and written by John Wick. Some of the sound come from Sirenscape.com. You can find us at critfail.com.